Well, it has been quite a while, hasn't it? Well, I mean, how do I really start? I'll start with a welcome back to the Primus channel. It's been like so long. I think it's been like 5 months since the last time we've seen each other. I've had my little break. You know, I'm not saying I ended my whole career or anything, because obviously I'm making this video, but I just had a little break. I had moving issues and everything. Got a new setup. I still have the desk, but I have a new setup I plan to use sometime. I have, or at least I built. This is probably one of my best designs in the action class design. This would probably, of course, be the. This would be the. I don't really know what to call it, but it's prowl. Okay, you can make it from either the Bavers. You can make it from a lot of iterations depending on which one you want. You can make it from the Bavers. What's it called? The Nightverse or the Capleverse, or you can even make it for Transformers 1, his Earth mode. And this was made off of the classic frame of what I call the action class. The action class. I'll go over it more later on, or the lore. There'll be a whole section, but right now, the base figure, the new figure, my welcoming, you know. And let's take a closer look, actually. And I mean, yeah, this figure looks great. It's not really a figure, but I'll call it a figure for the sake of it basically being a more fleshed out review between segments of articulation, size, detail, proportions, lore, final thoughts, what a pricing would be if this ended up making the figure, so much more chapters. But this chapter right now is detail, and there's a lot of detail here. This is way better than actually many of my other designs that I made in the past. I mean, it's missing a head sculpt, of course. Actually, no, scratch that. It's missing a neck peg because it's not really connected by a ball joint, which we'll go over it in articulation, but it just looks fantastic. I mean, I don't know if you guys can see that. You really can. It's like, focus the camera, but it looks amazing. There's so much compact detail here that actually gives it a better depth rather than like something I'd say I made in the past, which I'll give you comparisons regardless, but of course in the comparisons. But this thing went through 3 iterations and it was very insufferable, but not really at the same time. It wasn't as insufferable, but it's still, right now this has been a fun and enjoyable build, except for some loose ball joints here and there. But it's been a very fun and amazing build. It just looks very proportionate. It looks like a knight, which is something I really like. Just the proportions gives off a very nice look for him. And these are actually the backlights of the car. This is like the tail lights or the bumper or rear. I'm not a car guy just yet. I'm still trying to get in the nitty-gritty of stuff when it comes to that. But we're getting somewhere. I'm more of a motorcycle guy, but anyways. And it just looks really nice, you know. It doesn't have white like the regular G1 Prowl, but I think taking in another take or another shot at him, basically being a different iteration rather than just straight up G1, definitely helps this figure out a whole lot more. It just looks really nice. So let's take an even more closer look at the detail. And I mean, it just looks phenomenal. Like, there's some scratches here and there because these are also old Lego parts, but there's the fan inspired by Mirage. There's the LED lights which is originally taken from the Lego set. Most of these parts are from the Lego set, so if you don't know, then good luck. I think I have it. I don't know where it is, but it's the Paul Walker Lego set from Fast and Furious. There's the LED lights over there. The exhausts are right here, and then there's the rear of a car, and then this is the very special head sculpt. What I mean by special is that this isn't made by that one stud piece that I've always made, which I'll show you. I'll show you in a bit when I do size comparisons. But see, they're basically supposed to be twins, but we're gonna get into that later. But it's basically this car. It looks really cool. And then this isn't really full of car parts, but it's just to give him a techie look. So that's that. And you have some pistons in the back, and it's very, very composed. Like, it's not flat, it's pretty rounded. The side is great. The feet are something I took over from the second design, which yet again we will go over, but This is more of just car parts being car parts. Same piece over here. The other problem I had with the other prowl was that he had like 4. Right? He had like 1, 2, and then 3. Or like he had like 6, and then like 6 tires for like no reason. This one has at least 2 in the back. That's it, and 2 for his accessories, which we'll go over later. But you can see the whole printing over there. It's really cool. The head sculpt, which we'll take a closer look. It's very detailed. Surprisingly, I was able to capture so much in a head sculpt, and I think it's very great. I mean, I was gonna add like a LED function, well, not an LED function, but like a translucent piece where you could like see through it. But I don't know. I decided to give him this mohawk piece because it looked really cool, but the side, like I said, it's just super compact, and then the back is just glorious. Like the back was something I definitely put hard on rather than most, and it looks pretty cool. You have the tires right here, the doors are right here. And then this is like an exhaust piece or an engine part, whatever you think looks like it's part of the engine or part of the car, then you can say whatever. But there's these little circles that kind of have to reminisce, of course, The Last Night. I mean, not The Last Night, but mainly the Bumblebee movie over here, because they always have these weird like circular dots, especially like for like no reason. So like we have this guy. I'm saying like too much, but okay, he has those dots. He doesn't have it as much, but main base model design has almost all of them. But there's the dots right there. There's the tires, of course, and it's very proportional too. Like it looks very cool. I can't show it until I'm like in a distance. You're not gonna get that much because it's stuck in blurry. But wow, I did a great job with this. At least for me, I think. Of course, I always gotta humble myself, but I don't know. I think I did great. Yeah, I just like the side view because it doesn't look flat. It still looks like a Transformer. So, all right, I've ranted enough. Let's go through his accessories real quick. His accessories, he contains 3 accessories. 2 are melee and 1 is blaster form. The first one is, of course, just this weird tire thing. I don't know. I don't really know why I had it, but I had to put like some tires in somehow. So this is what I got. It's just some stupid tires. It basically counts as the other 2 tires from the car. Or if you want, I don't know, because there's still 2 tires over there. It's very confusing. We'll get to that in a bit, but. And then we have this accessory. This accessory is like, I don't know, night form, because he kind of gives off a night vibe almost. But yeah, it's very multicolored for some reason. But it does articulate, which has these little pincers that stick out. It looks like Namor's spear. And then from mainly Marvel Rivals, I know Namor that's not from Marvel Rivals. Okay, I knew a lot of I'm a nerd. There's your answer. But it just looks particularly from the game. It's just what it reminds me of, at least now. But it can become a hammer and a spear. They can easily mount onto the hand, and then we have this weird cannon thing inspired by, yet again, Marvel. Not Marvel Rivals, but just Marvel. Mainly in Infinity War, he has like these weird pincer claws, or pincers. It's 1 pincer. I was gonna give him more like a baton or something, but I didn't really have enough time to think about it, because in this universe at least, I don't think he should be a cop, even though that's his role. I guess this would be like his underground design where he's like trying to be hidden, he's not trying to be too noticeable, and then later he becomes a cop. But to mount the accessories on, you just pop out the hand. Since there's these slots, you can mount, that's for the other hand, you can mount this weapon, and yeah, it's very big. I mean, it fits the proportion size, kind of, but let me see if I can stick it all the way out. Oh, it looks better. There we go. But yeah, it looks pretty cool on him. These are made by a bunch of loose ball joints, so all the ball joints here are very loose. They're like leftover ball joints, so it's not that bad. But he looks really badass with that, I'll tell you that. And then you can remove that. And to add the cannon, before we do that, we're actually going to add the stupid Fortnite tires. I don't play Fortnite, but it just reminds me of Fortnite tires for some reason. or like something you would see straight out of Fortnite when it comes to like collabs. It just mounts on right there. It looks like a baton, so you know, you can fudge it or however you say it. But all right, now let's put on the other one. So what you do is you got to remove these part of the hands, and then find the pincer. Take this piece out. Okay, I didn't think that through. My bad. I thought it was supposed to go through. But it was just basically originally supposed to go through and then mount on here. But it doesn't go through. That's definitely something I did not think through during the review, but so forgive me for that, but it was supposed to just go through, but you can always just hold on. I'll be right back. Alright, I got it, and it looks it doesn't look that great, but it's whatever. So then you can pretty much add it right there. I didn't want it to. I think I'll probably figure out a way for it to just stick onto the hand. Actually, not stick onto the hand, but like just stick like that. But it's just supposed to like mount on like that. I swear by the end of the video I'll get something to look good. But in the meantime, that's all you got, and then we'll put the hands back together. But he has some pretty good accessories. Surprisingly, compared to all the other figures I have, he's the only one with a lot of accessories. Most characters I have, besides a figure I'll probably show you guys later during comparisons, or not, my choice. He's one of the only ones that has accessories, besides, of course, him. And another guy, Transformer upcoming, which I won't show you guys, but you have seen in posts. That guy, or those two, do have accessories. I do plan on giving them more, but yeah, this guy's pretty good. Alright, so I didn't want to bring in the measuring tape because, God, I'm kidding. I didn't want to bring in the measuring tape, so I just measured him before I clicked play in the video. So he stands at about 8 inches tall, fully, because if you stand the head up, that's what I'm talking about. It's like nothing there, it's just no ball joint. But if you stand the head up, that's just how it sticks out. So he stands about 8 inches tall, and which is weird because the characters I'm going to show in just a bit are not like, where's this guy? So first, we're going to compare him with a Marvel Legend. All right, to give you a pretty good size of how tall he is. And interestingly enough, I think he's taller than the Marvel Legend. And it's probably one of the only Marvel Legends I have. I don't really like owning Marvel Legends. But that might change depending on their Maximum Series Iron Man, if they have one. And if he's great. I don't know. We'll find out. But this one stands at about 7 1/9 inch. This is the Marvel Legends Venom. He's shorter. Not by a lot. I mean, you can't really tell either. Like, I have to fix the camera so you can see, but yeah, he's not that tall, but pretty good size regardless. He looks taller too, mainly because if I shift the head like this, if I shift the head straight, then he looks taller, but it stays down. But yeah, I mean, this figure's great, you know. I just don't like these stupid peg holes. Oh man. But aside from that, we'll give you another comparison. We have the Bumblebee movie Ironhide, to give you a good fluctuating scale of how tall he is compared to regular Studio Series. And this is a deluxe, so he's about a Voyager. So he does not scale properly with the Nightverse. So if you're ever thinking about, I'm not going to give a tutorial, of course, but if you're ever thinking about putting him into the collection, theoretically, he's not going to fit. So he does not fit in that perfectly good scale. But I'll tell you what he does fit, I think. He does fit the Bayverse very well. We have also the Leader Class Megatron. Why the fuck? I'm sorry, excuse me for my language, but why the fuck is he so damn tall? Or so damn short? Like, he was probably one of the biggest Leader classes. I'll probably try and review him one day, but Why the hell is he so damn short? Like, he's really short, and I thought he would be big, like huge, but he's not. But as for another character, I'll show you the back of him. But this is the next review, and yeah, that's my problem. I mean, he's definitely not fitting. I mean, he could, because it was meant to be in scale accurate to both of the characters. So you decide that. But and we have the next character, which I think you guys will love more. I'll just show you the measurement. This is about how tall he is. So he's about this tall. Right? That measurement is how tall the next character is going to be. And then that Optimus Prime that we have right now is actually taller. He's about 9.5 inches or 9 something inches. So, I mean, I don't want to show him too much. But yeah. Alright, now down to articulation. This is a big one because he has about the same articulation, if not better, than most of my action class. So we'll go straight to it. First off, there's ball joints at the shoulders. Before we go into that, I gotta go to the head scope, sorry. There's a hinge that can go all the way up, which is very, very weird. But it can But it can actually tilt side to side, so you don't really need the ball joint. If you swivel out the joint, it can actually rotate all the way around. If you stick it out just a bit, you can actually get it to get really great pivotal movement. So if you do that, right, if we rotate it and then tilt, that's better than any ball joint. It's a slow process, of course, but it's still pretty cool, you know. It doesn't stay on there very well either, but like I can do anything about that. But and he has, of course, a ball joint at the shoulder, which you can't really actually move that. Like, you can't actually articulate that. It's not supposed to move. I use one of the stiffer ball joints so you don't move it. But you can still, I think you can try and move it. No, you really can't. But they're probably supposed to help move out of the way. But that's the only unfortunate part, that they can't move. But the arms can go only out about that far, which is probably the most, and yet again, excuse me for my language, so if you're a kid under 13, go away. You're not supposed to be here. Unless you like Legos, then skip. But it only goes about that, which is the most ass T-pose ever in all of my action class figures. Hell, even the 90-degree bend isn't good. But you can also just do that. But not even that helps, because it doesn't articulate based off of that. You can kind of rotate that and then get a bit more, but that's not its main basis, so. We get some nice rotation. Like, you really don't, actually. The arms are probably the most limited part of the figure. So it really sucks. Hold on. And the chest, the titty moves, but not that much. And the ball joint can move freely, individually articulated fingers, if you didn't notice. The legs, for some reason, are one of the most unlimited, however. Because, there's a ball joint at the torso that can not go back, but it can crunch forward about that far. Yeah, very lame. I'm well aware. But you can also just extend it too, without making it come out. And then you can just make it articulate more. But it does tilt side to side in an incredible amount. Especially because of the way the torso is designed. And then the hip skirts are on ball joints, so you can actually flap these out. And there goes the legs that can go forward a really great amount. Not so much back, but if you fake it, or move, like, swivel the joint around or something, you could get a great range out. There's a ball joint swivel here, fixing the hip skirts. Moving over here to the back, there's a hinge piece right here where if you hinge that down or not, you can still get or you don't really get 90-degree bend, which is still a limitation, but it's still pretty good. It's a nice feature. And then there's of course a balls right over here. So to be fair, you're not really supposed to pose him because he's very fragile at times. But it would have been a lot better if this thing can go more than 90 degrees, because I think he almost can. It's mainly just the back part. Like these parts of the back are what limit him. But the legs can still go pretty far, and they're more stable than that previous action class. So, I mean, that's a plus for me. So, I don't even know if you were able to see it, but I'll probably check over the footage and check. But I love how this turned out. So, and I'm gonna put this guy back for just a minute. I'm obviously gonna put pictures up here, but we have the very first iteration of Prowl, which I had to do comparisons. The very first iteration, the quote-unquote lore for it was basically this was supposed to be a separate universe, but I decided to make Bayverse Prowl, so it was a whole thing. But the first iteration of Prowl, he was cool. I liked him. I liked how he looked, but I think he was a bit too G1. Like, he still had some aspects that definitely be like, oh, he looks like Prowl, but he looks a bit too much like G1. So I was like, are you trying to make G1, or are you just trying to make something inspirational because you can't really tell? So, still cool regardless, but wasn't the best. And then we also have the really big Bayverse Prowl, which is an interpretation. And he was way bigger than my old Evasion Mode Prime, which is still being in the works. I still have to focus on the back and its accessories, but that's for another day. I don't know, man. It just looked weird. The proportions were odd, so I did a second version. I still have the corpse, or the quote-unquote body of him. I'm not going to show it to you because it's too revealing. I don't want you guys taking my stuff. Another story for another time, but... So... And then this version. So consider the first one being the heavy concept art, as in the almost accepted, and then the Bayverse would be the declined, almost instantly concept art, like the concept art that was like, oh, it's really cool, but we can't have it here, so we're going to decline that concept. And then we have the great concept art, but it's too much like G1, upgraded a bit, and then you get this one. So that's basically the final one. I still wanted him to be white, and then have like a condensed bar, I think it was, the condensed light bar for him to be a cop. But I think probably for another time or anything, because I still have about 3 more cars to do on this body mold before I move on. I think I put the wrong song, but yeah, so it's a whole different story. But there's no real lore for him right now. I think I did explain it in another review. No, I didn't review him, but if you want me to bring up lore, you could just simply comment down below. I hate doing that. I hate saying that, but just simply comment if you really want to see the lore or understand what exactly the problem is, or what you want to understand. You know, just a bunch of Q&A. I don't mind, and criticism. But this is one of the next pieces. So we have this one. I'll just show you the cars that I have planned for this body mold. You can tell me in the comments which transformer would fit. We still have this one to go. We have this one. We also have... Where do you go? Where did you... Okay. So we have the Pontiac, I think? I'm not good with cars, but... We have that one next. And we still have this guy, which is not done yet. But I probably might just give him into this body mold instead. So... Yeah. Originally, they were just supposed to be twins. He was never supposed to be Prowl. They were supposed to be like Skids and Mudflap, where he transforms the front and he transforms the back. But honestly, I think I might scrap this design because it doesn't look the best. It looks kind of ugly. But yeah, these 2 cars are definitely next. If not, I'll probably make one to the Batmobile at that point. But I mean, if you see the vision, you just simply do that. And you can swivel it, but you get my point. Anyway, the video's getting too long. Alright, So we're gonna wrap it up about 25 minutes. Crazy. There's always gonna be things cut from the video, as you know. So right now it stands at about 25 minutes. I'll probably even cut this part too. But wouldn't you know? I even got the whole gun part in. It involves a hinge and another disc piece, a little like slope. So you basically just remove the hand and then this extra tab over here, and then you attach the cannon. So it sucks you can't pose with it either. Like, this is the only pose I was able to get so fast, but overall, I really love how this turned out. In fact, I'm actually kind of proud of it because this is one of the very first interesting designs that actually looks like it's inspired by the character. So that's inspired by it. Sorry for the long pause, but it's kind of inspired by it, and it actually looks like it's an iteration, and it's a different but yet cool version of the character. As if I totally didn't make anything that's just inspired by G1 only. Did I? I don't remember. But this guy is really cool. I really love how he turned out. Yeah, he's limited kind of in poses, but I think it's a nice introduction to bring him back. To bring back this old body frame, because there's like 50 other body frames I've done before. There's like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. About 5 body frames I have right now. Or mech frame, however you say it. So I think it's a nice change of pace that I bring this old one back. I do plan on bringing another one back too, the really old one, which was with this, but I'd probably make that different. Like, I'll probably try and make that for the upcoming Hulkbuster I have planned. I mean, it's not too planned, but I have them planned, so expect that one to be coming soon. Not now, but soon. That's basically probably gonna be my 3rd iteration of a Hulkbuster. Interesting, I know, but when you get bored, you got nothing better to do. But overall, I'd rate him a good 8 out of 10. If not, probably 7 out of 10 because he's limited in posing. But those details, man, they stick out. There's also some white here to probably inspire Prowl, the old Prowl. But he looks really good, man. He turned out really well. Especially because I wanted to iterate some nice detail. And he is modified, speaking of which, from the original one. You know, the legs are different. If you go back to my old videos, you'll notice these legs are completely different. The arms are kind of the same, but the torso is heavily modified. Like, I'll tell you, heavily modified. The ball joint connections are wider. The chest implication is definitely different. The chest implication is different by a whole lot. And the head sculpt is completely newly modified. So all of that has been changed completely. But I mean, that's about it. I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up. This has been the nice, very first video of 2025. I know, very late. And of this new setup. And new figures are to come soon. So I'm going to go ahead and hop out before this reaches 30 minutes. Basically half an hour. So I've been ranting and yapping for an hour. So I'm going to go ahead and see you guys soon. Peace.